It is 22 minutes to 10 now. The proclamation for King Charles III will be read across Essex today. That proclamation does also, of course, contain a declaration of the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Her death was announced just after 6:30 on September the 8th, 2022. The following evening, her son and successor, Charles III, spoke to the nation and to the Commonwealth. He said his mother's was a life well lived, a destiny fulfilled, and many people have since paid tribute to the life and service of Queen Elizabeth II. We're now going to speak to Sidra Naeem, Deputy Lord Lieutenant of Essex, as well as a prominent member of the local Muslim community. Good morning to you, Sidra.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us on BBC Essex. What was your feeling when you first heard the news of the Queen's death?
I was surprised and I was very sad. I've been quite depressed actually since I've heard the news. Still a bit unbelievable because we always thought, she would be there all the time, really. She has lived a long time and I never really, thought about what it would be like really without her. But it has actually shocked the nations all across the world.
It has because, as you mentioned, Queen of this country, Queen of many other countries, but head of the Commonwealth. And that role was so very important to her, wasn't it?
It definitely was. She commanded huge affection and respect for her unique leadership right across our nation and the world. And that actually made her an iconic figure. Also, that role, she promoted good relations between members of all faiths. And her spirit helped to make Britain a very tolerant country as well because of that role that she had. Very dedicated service, 7 decades actually of dedicated service, not just to the British, but also, to the Commonwealth.
And how important do you think the Queen as monarch, as a person, was to that integration, to that tolerance that you just mentioned?
She was very, very important and very respected because of that role. So all the people from all the Commonwealth and around the world, they all really, really respect her. I've never, ever actually heard anything bad about the Queen from anybody. And there has been respects, prayers, dedications to her from all across the world, within their lands as well.
And what prayers have been said here in Essex for her?
I think lots and lots of mosques have said lots of really great things about her. In all the places of worship, they've done dedication ceremonies for her. The churches were actually full the next morning. And I know that myself because so many people told me they'd been to the church all of a sudden to pray for her, and the churches were full. The mosques had, lots and lots of words of wisdom and remembrance of her life.
And what tributes and prayers will continue at mosques as we go through the coming days, as national mourning continues and we make our way towards the funeral date?
I think everything will continue. All of those things are continuing. If there are any events happening which are, not of a celebration nature, then all of those events are starting off with remembering the Queen and saying a few words of dedication about her life and things like that. They're all happening right until the funeral. And I think beyond that as well, really, because she's not really a person who we can forget.
No, her long life and legacy has made its imprint on so many aspects of everyday life. And yet we move forward into the reign of King Charles III. As you mentioned, the Queen was a great supporter of interfaith dialogue and interfaith communities. How important do you think that's going to be for King Charles?
I think it will continue. Obviously, he will continue the legacy. And having met Prince Charles myself twice now, I've had personal conversations with him. He is definitely into interfaith and he understands different cultures. He's been around the whole world as well. I think that will definitely continue.
Having met him a few times, what do you think of him as our king now?
He was nice. He had a lovely personality, and something extra, I would say, that he had was that he had a sense of humour. He cracked a lot of jokes when I met him, and I think that is good as well. But the Queen had other qualities, like she would always be smiling, no matter what her personal life or her family were going through. She was always a very stable person, very dignified, and very, very well presented. You know, she kept herself together, never let her any, bad, There was, she symbolized stability at times of turmoil and order and justice in terms of tension. And I have met her as well. She was a very, very warm person and very loving, very caring person.
Where did you meet her, Sidra?
I met her at Buckingham Palace, and I had a 20-minute conversation with her, and she was really interested in me and everything that I did. She had read about me, she said, and she was quoting back some of the things that I was doing to help within the British community. She spoke about mental health, she spoke about homelessness, she spoke about women and empowerment as well. Those are the three top subjects that she spoke about with me, and all really good things to do with humanity, which showed her as a caring person and smiling the whole time.
Yes, that wonderful smile. What will your abiding memory of her be, Sidra?
I think that she was a very strong lady and lots of willpower there. She never gave up and she continued her duties. It was a life of duty, actually. From a very, very young age. So for me, I would think of her faithfulness, her dedication, her commitment to the task placed before her at such a young age, and always smiling. And she was actually, very good example of us, example to us of a very good role model.
Sidra Naeem, Deputy Lord Lieutenant of Essex, thank you very much for joining us on BBC Essex this morning. And I think Sidra reflecting there what many people have felt in the days since we learnt of the death of the Queen. That deep interest in people, her deep sense of service, her deep sense of duty.